Good morning, everybody. It's me, Juniper Bloom Mystique. I am your Ascension Master, Master Healer, and Divine Guide. I am the one who brought about the Ascension for the entire planet, and it took me 3 years to do, so I encourage you all to check that out. You can find most of those that I uploaded for you, as remember they were all recorded during workshops and live for others to see. Those are in my Ascension playlist. Ooh, forgive me. As soon as I got on live, I had to yawn and stretch. How rude. Although I'm not live, recording. Excuse me. As soon as I hit that record button, my body was like, not today, my friend, not today. Alright, so just for all legality purposes, I do own the rights to the music you may possibly hear in the background. I'm going to bring a message today. A little bit of a divine flow, what Spirit wants to talk about, what's important for us all to know. And forgive my absence lately, it's been a lot of healing going on. So I've been healing a lot, and trying to process everything that happened on our journey, especially the twin flame journey, right? That was a doozy, a doozy that I would not wish upon my worst enemy in truth. Hang on, I'm going to light some Palo Santo. I did not kill the tree. For any tree activists, I love the trees. I believe in saving the trees. But I'm going to light my Palo Santo, and I hope you all enjoy. And I'm going to clean the space and the energy in the air. And I'm going to just ask everybody to just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and enjoy the space in which you find yourself in, no matter what that is. Okay, so the energy right now is very important for going within, taking it deeper, going within. And I talk about this a lot, probably because it's very important a lot, right? Very important a lot for us to take it deeper, to go within, to kind of look into why we do the things we do, why are things coming up for us, what can we do with it? Generally speaking, when things repeat, when things bombard, when things are going all wrong, we are supposed to look within, stop, drop, and listen, right? Stop, drop, and listen, and leave the world behind. For in truth, there's not a tomorrow, there's no longer a yesterday, there's only right now, right here and right now. And I talk about now, here, and nowhere quite often. Okay? Allow this Palo Santo to fill your space, to cleanse your energy, and to clear your mind. Clearing our mind of any negative thoughts, any doubt, and any fear. It's mostly self-doubt and self-fear that we inflict upon ourselves in every given moment, and we do it quite often. We do this quite often. Self-doubt and fear. Okay, and that's what's coming up right now. Let it go. Leave it behind. How do we let it go? Well, by golly gee gosh, it's harder than you would know, and it's easier than you would know. It truly is. It's truly just making the choice that it's not serving you, right? This isn't serving me. Why would I want to sit in fear? Why would I want to sit in negative thoughts? It's not serving you. Get out of our mind, get up, physically take an active movement, right? Do something physical to change the direction. Tune out of all of that distraction and tune into your body. Here's the thing, most of us will do it for a minute, maybe 2, maybe 3, and then we give up. Oh, it's too hard, it's not for me. When in truth, true meditation takes some time. To be able to learn to control our mind takes a lot of time. If you spent all those years filling your mind, creating the mind in which you now house, it's going to take time to undo all those habits, and they are habits. Okay, so that's in the energy right now for sure. I didn't know that was coming out. That's what Spirit wants me to talk about. So that's one of the many things I'm going to talk about. It's very, very, very important to clear the mind, okay? Now I want my videos to be layered. My videos are not just about a simple card pull. They're not just simple messages to one simple sign, okay? They are detailed, they are layered, and they will affect whoever finds them. They are for whoever finds them, okay? So keep that in mind. If you are drawn to a video, there is probably a reason, no matter what the title was, no matter what it's supposed to say. Just know that you found the right way, okay? That's what's hard, is I don't have one little target audience. Mine is the collective whole. So, let's see what else Spirit has to say today. It truly is a challenge. It's a challenge of the mind, the body, and the soul right now. And that's what's going on in the Ascension energy. That's what's going on in the collective whole, the collective mind, the collective heart, the collective time. It is very important right now to take the time and focus on what truly matters. Is what matters to you, or what you've been putting your energy, part of what's important? It's time to redact our energy and put it where it is best served, okay? We need to reserve some energy, and that's what Spirit's talking about here. Reserve some energy for the changing tides coming forward. So if you guys watch my channel, for those of you who do, I did a community post recently about the Tonga Hunga Ponga. I always laugh when I say that one. I know it's not funny because it's an underground volcano that erupted. If you watch what I do, I activated the pyramids in Fiji, which are underwater. It was an underwater pyramid. It's not above water. And I've turned it several times over this last year also. And each time I do, it created movement and a ripple effect underwater. Well, then the Hunga Tonga is in a direct line of Fiji, and it erupted in January of this year. Now, I was talking about that recently, and people probably thought, oh, shoot, it's going to erupt again. I kind of wasn't sure what they were meaning of it. But then shortly after, the Mauna Loa, the biggest volcano in Hawaii, erupted in the earth, right? In the world, I guess they said. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the news. Which, by the way, the news is not giving you all of the things, and they're lying about most. Especially now, and especially earthquake and volcano related. However, after I did that community post about the Hunga Tonga, we've had volcano after volcano erupting, okay? So that was truly the message there. It's like there's major energy influxes coming in, major shifts happening, and even one of my messages is that the in-between is almost over, okay? And so that's a message also for the collective whole. It's like we've been in the space of an in-between. Everybody expects things are going to happen tomorrow when I say them, and that's not the case, so be mindful. The psychic truly reads into the future, not into today. However, there's huge energetic shifts, okay, and that's where you see all these earthquakes and volcanoes, and that's what's happening. The earth is releasing all of the energy. She's expanding, and I've talked about that. And all the work that I've done over this last year, I've talked about that a lot. She's going to spend this next year expanding. And each time she expands, it's an energetic burst that has to release somewhere, okay? And so the changes of tides are occurring, but they're occurring bigger in your present than you realize, okay? And so right now is truly about energetic stores. So don't put energy where it doesn't serve you, okay? If it's not providing joy or healing or peace or comfort or love, it's probably not serving you. It's really, truly time to look at your balance and look where we're putting our energy. Are we putting it into a space of non-existence? What do I mean by that? There's a lot not going to go forward, okay? So if you're focused on things that don't matter and are not of light and of God and of benefit or true love, you're going to feel it. It's going to get clunky. Things are going to be yucky. Things aren't going to be feeling great, right? It's when you put your focus truly on where your energy should flow. Self-love, healing. I just said self-love twice, didn't I? And even loving others, okay? And is that easy? Hell no. That's why most people don't do it. They avoid healing. They go to a doctor and take a pill. That's what they do, rather than true healing. Because true healing means what? We have to feel it. Have you noticed that? Most medical professionals will cover up your symptoms. We don't want to feel things. We want to not feel them. And I know things can be painful, trust me. My twin flame journey was the most painful experience I've ever had in my life, and I wouldn't wish it upon my enemy. my worst enemy. But God says we should sit back and we should feel things. That's God. We should be able to feel them. What we're meant to feel in this lifetime is of us. It's not anybody else's fault but our own, right? And so, we got to stop looking to escape. We got to stop looking to run away. We got to stop looking to avoid, and put our energy to where it's best served. And that is the main message today. Stop avoiding the uncomfortable. Stop avoiding what might hurt, what you don't want to recognize, what you don't want to see. Stop avoiding areas due to the thoughts of judgment or what others might think. That is a detriment. It's a detriment to our soul. It's a detriment to our heart. It is truly time now to dig our heels in, and the time is now. The time is now. We don't have tomorrow anymore. We've got to look at these things. We've got to recognize. We've got to mend relationships if that's what we want to do. Like, I'm getting a visual of a parent who looks at their child and they're like, it's almost like an avoidant behavior. I don't want this conversation because it's going to be uncomfortable. I don't know what to say. It doesn't matter. Allow things to come to you. Just step in, right? Step in, step in, step in. And that's the biggest part of the message here is it's time truly to step in. Step in even without the answers. Step in even not knowing. Step in because we may be wasting our energy in places where it should not go. Okay? There are massive energetic bursts going on in the collective whole, and it's ascension related. Changes and tides are already occurring. You just don't see them all. Some of them are happening beneath the surface. Okay? That's the same thing for what is happening within ourselves, within each individual, especially those that are ascending. Even if they're not, they're still being pushed through the same cycle. Okay? There are huge energetic movements, and either we are rising to the occasion or we are being whirled around, right? Think of it like the Wheel of Fortune, or even the Destiny Wheel, right? I'm like thinking of tarot cards. But like the 1222. My twin flame, that is still our number. The Wheel of Fortune or the Destiny Wheel. If you're standing on the outskirts, you're going to get clunked around. It can be hard to see what's real. We can get bumped around a little bit to, you know what I mean? But when you're standing right in the middle and you're in balance, everything is so much clearer. Everything is so much easier. And the way to get there is getting out of our head and really truly getting into your body. That is not a joke. That is a necessity at this time. Get out of our head. Get out of the mundane world. Get out of the world that is in the thinking realm. And really dive deep into these energies because they're huge. And if we're putting our energy where it doesn't belong, we may not be physically, emotionally, and spiritually adapt to go through these changes that we're going to be going through. There we already are, okay? And so that's really truly the message today is where are we wasting our energy and where can it be best served? And stop avoiding difficult situations, because the difficulty is to help you grow in love and understanding and light and challenges, and sometimes doing things with your heart rather than your mind is more important, okay? Don't be afraid to expose your thoughts and emotions. That is a detriment. That is not love. Okay? Things that are spoken from love cannot do harm. Things that are spoken from love cannot do harm. Do you understand? Alright, let's see what the cards have to say. I really like this message today. This is definitely my joy. Alright. See what the cards have to say. And then you know what else song has been coming up a lot lately is my song. The song that I wrote during my twin flame journey when I was trying to not be attacked. And it's a very powerful song. And because lately I've been sitting with my flame and finding out my joys, and that's who I am. I shine light into the darkness. That is absolutely who I am. And sometimes when I question things, I'm like, oh, why would Spirit tell me that? That wasn't real. And then I'm shown other things have always been spot on. Okay? And so it's like, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't assume anything. Give things time. Trust in what you get. Trust in your guidance. Trust in who you are. I do. I'm shown every time that I'm accurate. So give things space and time. Nothing has to be solved right here, right now. It's stepping in with your heart. Stepping in with your heart. Stepping in with your heart. Let go of the mind. Let go of the mind. Let go of the mind. I know these are weird messages, but it's how it's coming out today. 'Cause I'm shining light into the darkness. Can you show me the way? 'Cause I'm shining light into the darkness. I would really love to get that song published. I'm really proud of that song, actually. I wrote that song. I hear the beat in my head. I just need to be able to play bass. I'm thinking maybe bass and something else. And boom, 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 boom. And I can create the background song. I really do want to publish that song. Alright, anyways. Let's see what Spirit has to say through the cards today, okay? These are very important messages. Very important. So again, the biggest part of the message here is, while I'm shuffling the cards, I just keep hearing the same thing. It's, you know, there's way more than meets the eye. And even that is layered, right? What the hell does that mean? There's more than meets the eye. We have a problem with assumptions. We have a problem with thinking we know what things mean. And it's more layered, it's more layered, it's more layered. There's so many meanings within one thing, okay? And so just because you think you know, just because you think you know, does not mean we know. Just because we have one answer doesn't mean we have all. Okay? And so it's really, truly opening up our level of understanding. Opening up our level of intuition. Opening up our level of everything. And even more, right? It's like with me especially, I was like, oh, this is what Spirit meant. And then a year later, I'm like, holy shit, there's a whole nother layer of that. That's what they meant. And then it's like, no, that's not all. Right? Everything is so layered. Why would we think there's an end to anything? There really, truly isn't. Further enlightenment comes all the time. Okay? So be mindful of that. It's like, stop. We assume. We do all of these things. Right? Woo! Woo! All right. Good messages coming out here. Ooh, alright. See what else Spirit has to say for the collective whole, for whoever watches these videos. Okay, that's it for that one, they said. Alright, so we have upheaval. Upheaval. You can see this card. It's like, oh shit. A big old thing just came in and knocked their whole world upside down. Their whole world has been knocked upside down, right? Everything is different. Nothing is the same. Everything that I knew is gone, right? This is what this card is telling me. It's like there's a sudden upheaval that came in here and it knocked everything off the foundation. And it did it for a reason, okay? There's multiple layers here to this message. There's multiple layers to what's going on around you, within your environment, and within your heart and your mind. And just as I said, is like we think certain things. Right now, it's very important not to waste our energy and our time on things that will not serve us going forward. Okay, and it's just like I talked about the Hunga Tonga Punga. There was massive energy influx coming. And I didn't go out and broadcast, oh, beware, more volcanoes are coming. I already know the work that I've done is going to continue changing this planet. I've talked about it many times over, and I'm sure people are like, oh, that sounds crazy, until it actually happens, okay? And that's kind of what this card is talking about. It's like sometimes we won't move, we won't budge, we won't do things. We'll think about them, and we just become afraid. We become hesitant. We don't take the steps forward. We don't make the movements. and then these things happen. Our whole environment crumbles, big things come in and crash upon us, right? Why does that happen? It's to make you look at things different, a different perspective. My whole world is now upside down, and now I'm seeing things differently than I've ever seen them before. Okay? My whole world got turned upside down, and now I'm seeing things differently than I've ever seen them before. And maybe, just maybe, I don't have to build back what was once there. Maybe I need to grieve the world that I once knew. I need to grieve the things that I expected. I need to grieve my loss. There is deep grief, deep sorrow, deep loss within that, excuse me, within that upheaval. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Spirit will do that sometimes. They'll block my voice if I'm missing something. Because I go fast. I get excited. So I'm just slowing down a little bit so I don't miss any of the message, just in case that's why my throat is going berserko. There are huge mass changes coming around some of you, all of us in certain ways. It just depends on what needs changing and what was not built on a strong foundation. Okay? Upheaval of a different kind. We lose loved ones. We lose... Is that like punishment when we lose loved ones? Dear God, no. Okay? One of the most common things that I hear quite often is, why did God let this happen? This is God. Why did God let this happen? We put everything in the blame of God. We do. We think God is going to stop. Here's the thing. We all die. Okay? We all die. God cannot stop us from dying. Alright? And here's another thing about life and death, is we all do have planned deaths, right? Does that mean we don't get escape routes? No. We can still die unexpectedly. We can die through accidents. We can die outside of our normal planned deaths sometimes. That can happen. Okay? But it's like exit points. Alright? Almost like exit points. And that's a whole nother story. My point here is it's not God's fault people died. God cannot take his hand down and stop everybody from dying all the time. And so people are always like, why did God let this happen? And it is because it hurts so bad, and we just don't understand why bad things happen sometimes, okay? But here's the thing, is we don't understand why. We don't understand who they were in past lifetimes, what the purpose was in this lifetime. And here's another part of that, is we don't all die, right? I think this world is scary. This world is filled with trials and tribulations, and we take our joy in the moments of our loved ones. That's where we get happiness and camaraderie and love. And so when we lose loved ones, it's a detriment. It really truly is. And it hurts very badly. And it leaves a hole in our soul. Okay? It really does. And that's deep grief, right? It's deep, deep grief. But sometimes it takes that grief to gain that new perspective. For them, for those that have moved on, and for ourselves. Sometimes it takes a big, huge upheaval to gain a new perspective. And even if we're not losing loved ones, okay, this message isn't necessarily meant to be all sad and everything, but it is what it is. We lose goals. We lose opportunities. We lose what we thought we once knew. Relationships, like breakups, right? Maybe they didn't die. Maybe they broke up. It's still grieving. Okay? But it is about gaining a new perspective. If we sit in that sorrow and grief, or the chaos of what is happening, why did this happen? Why did this happen? It's all God's fault. It's all this. We're missing a big chunk of that perspective. Maybe it was meant to happen this way. Maybe it was their time to go. Maybe that's all they were meant to have this lifetime. Maybe that was the only relationship we were meant to have, because maybe I have to learn to let things go. Who knows what the perspective is we're supposed to gain? Okay? But if we truly sit and we feel our grief, and we allow ourselves to heal from that sorrow, and we don't avoid it, we don't avoid paying attention to what's going on in this upheaval, we will gain a whole new perspective. It's that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Only if you use it to gain. Because it can kill people, right? Things things that are bad that happened, if they don't allow themselves to feel them, if they don't sit with it for what it is, if they don't move through it, they won't gain that new perspective. Instead, it takes a detriment on their soul. Do you understand? That's this message. It's very deep. Okay? We don't always understand the reasons. The reasoning can be layered upon layered upon layered upon layered, and maybe it's not meant for us to understand in this moment. Did God let this happen? It's not about that at all. There is not one person on this planet that can escape what death is. That can escape the feeling at some point of losing a loved one, at some point in their life. It's not meant for punishment. It's the cycle. And it's a sucky one, right? But through it all, through the tough times, through the upheaval, through the changing in our environment, through the changing in our life, through the changing, through the challenges, through these trials and tribulations, through the grief that we all must at some point process and feel, some more than others, trust me. I've had more lives than you guys can count. I've seen death, I've done many things, I've had to flush my own babies down the toilet, that's not a joke. I know grief, okay? I know grief. I deal with grief every day in the collective whole. We all face it, trust me, and some more than others. Use it as a tool. If you can find the strength to realize this upheaval is here for a reason, and I'm going to sit with this, and I'm going to gain out of this what I am meant to gain, you will get a different perspective. You will gain a whole new state of being. That's what it's about. It is very important right now in these changes in the collective whole to focus on sitting with it and gaining a new perspective. Be very mindful where we are putting our energy, because at this time we need every bit that we have. Okay? Use it where it benefits, use it where we gain, not where it keeps us unaligned. Does that make sense? Very important right now. Breakups, missed opportunities, all are grief of loss. Okay? Grief does not only represent loss of a loved one through death or through passing on. It is grief of many kinds, right? Like with my twin flame journey, I didn't just process his death, which he did die, and then he was also reincarnated. And so it was a really weird processing. But not only did that, I had to process what should have been and what is not. Okay? All of those things. There's multiple layers to grief, so also keep that in mind. It's not just one layer. And each layer of grief and upheaval that we are willing to sit with and look at and feel into and heal from, you will gain a whole nother layer of perspective. Wisdom, my friends. Wisdom doesn't come easy, does it? It's not just a given. Can it be a birthright? Yeah, but does that mean you don't have to do the work to get it? No. Only in a false reality. Okay, let's see what else Spirit has to say. Let's see what else Spirit has to say. Okay? Oh, that's another thing they're talking about is we're all going to grieve. It's going to be an upheaval in our environment for the Ascension. And we're all going to grieve the world that we have to leave behind. Okay? But in these moments of layers releasing, even within the earth, we grieve them and we gain the new perspective. So Ascension message-wise, this is a personal but also collective. Okay? This definitely is Ascension energy as well. As there's great upheaval going on for a reason. And we must grieve each layer of the world that we're leaving behind. And that way we gain the new perspective of the newness coming in. Okay? This is a huge Ascension energetic pull right now. Huge. And it does go with the fact that I was talking about the Hunga Punga Tonga. It makes me laugh every time. All the volcanoes and earthquakes that are going on. It's all part of it. Okay? If you think those are doing nothing, think again. Your whole world is changing underneath your feet, and it's hard to even see it. And so there's already energy of upheaval occurring, and we're gonna all have to process through grief each layer of the world that we're leaving behind. This can be loved ones, this can be energy, this can be ways of doing things. And each time we are willing to sit with that grief and process and heal, we gain the new perspective. Each time we're willing to look at the upheaval as a way to gain and utilize it as a tool and ask questions and do the work to get through it, we gain a new perspective. Okay? So don't sit here and go, oh my gosh, this happened, and we just sit with that. We must process it, grieve it through, and release the old world behind in order to move forward into the new. Relationships, this is everything. It really does go across the board, but it's also important for the ascension too. We can't, as a collective, we're going to try to hold on to things, and we just cannot. Alright, let's see what this has to say. And I've just been feeling, ever since my healing, I was in so much pain. I felt swollen again. I thought my heart was bad. My legs, my arms, everything swelled up. I was feeling this weird cramp in my stomach. Not like a cramp, but like it was a weird, an outer stomach cramp. It was horrible. I got the healing, and oh my God, it's just been so much better since. I feel joy. I literally lay down and hug my bed. I'm like, thank you for being my brand new bed. It's mine, no energy in it. It's great. And so just, that's the thing, is no matter how much grief, no matter how much sorrow, it's not selfish to heal that and find the joy. It's not. As long as you're doing it through healing, not avoidance and false, right? Okay, so let's see what the Shaman Energy Oracle has to say for the collective from the Great Divine. New love is on its way. This is for everybody. New love is on its way for every single person. So if you're not in an unconditional relationship, unconditional love, it's all based on unconditional love. So in every area of your life, we must grieve, we must let go, and let new love find its way to you. New ways of loving, new understanding of love, strengthening bonds, strengthening relationships. And the twin flames are soon to unite. They're going to. So here's the thing, little twin flame message also, is that the twin flame mishap, and I was going to be the one uniting them, my physical vessel couldn't handle that. And so they gave my DM the blue light. We are physically, energetically, and spiritually aligned. We're already connected. We're already aligned. And the energy in the collective whole reflects that. 3303. So if any of the twin flames go against that, they're going to feel it. Okay? So if I was to go sleep with somebody else right now, my DM would just die inside. I think it would be pretty painful. And they're like, yeah. And vice versa. So we have to be mindful of that we are already combined. We are already connected, energetic, physically, spiritually connected, and it's growing stronger every day. And I already aligned our DNA. And so what we do affects the other one. Okay, 3333. A lot of threes in that message at that part. What we do affects the other one, no holds bar. Okay, more than ever before. More than ever before. And they are meant to unite and to align. And the love is just going to start growing. New passions ignited. The healing is done now. And that's what they're saying. Okay? And so with that, there will be upheavals, there will be trials that you need to succumb, to not fall prey to. Because anytime we're about to unite things like that, things will come against you. They will make you feel less than. And so don't do that, okay? Focus on love, light, happiness, and joy, and just feeling good about yourself, not worrying about anything else. Whoop. One more. They're saying one more out of this deck. And then I feel like a fairy one, and then we'll call it a day. was so funny, you guys, the other day at work. What I do is life and death. Okay, I deal with life and death every day. That's not a joke. Hopefully I end up saving people's lives. If in the end I cannot, that is nothing else I can do, right? We have to put people's power into their hands, and their choices are their choices in the end. But I do deal with life and death. And so within that, we have, a lot of people who have degrees, major degrees in my company, and they will listen. They listen to my calls. They listen to what we do. We have to, right? It's a teamwork effort sometimes. And I remember the other day after work, they were like, "You're good." And I'm like, I had like 3 or 4 of them listening to my conversation. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what did I do wrong? And they're like, "No, you're good. Like, what you do is really good." And then I have my interview tomorrow. And the point of my story is, give yourselves more credit than we do, because you're more amazing than you think you are, okay? You're more amazing than you think you are. Give yourself credit more than you do, okay? Skywriting the fates, okay? Skywriting the fates. You are creating your world big time, going forward every day. And we must let go of what needs to be let go of and gain the new perspective to create our world clearly, okay? And so it's not easy energies. It's truly about being mindful about what you're doing, thinking, feeling, processing the grief. Does that mean we should never feel angry? No. If you try to avoid the feeling of anger, you're probably going to cause it to build up until you explode, okay? It's not about avoidance. That's what we need to let go of. Avoidance is what needs to fall away. And all of this must come into play rather than avoidance, okay? The crossing, initiation. This is exactly what I was talking about. Okay, we must do these things to ascend. We must do these things. This is a part of the path of ascension. This is the part of getting through to the next layer of understanding, the next layer of perspective, the next level of love, unconditional love. Okay, is to grieve, to release, to allow the upheavals to occur so that we can heal into them, so we can gain the new perspective. Okay? Does that mean we don't have, what I'm getting here is the process of grief. Sometimes when we lose a loved one or we have to grieve something major, our world stops and we can't get out of that cycle of grief. The toughest part here is to allow yourself to grieve and still continue forward. It has to be done in balance. Okay? Give yourself space to grieve, but find that balance. We are grieving everything we are letting go of, from loved ones to the world we once knew, okay, to fears, to procrastination, avoidance. We must let go and grieve the need for avoidance, okay? Because the more we avoid, the more is going to come into an upheaval. And it truly is about a rite of passage, right? Only the strong survive. There is truth to that saying. Especially in the Ascension, where it's been a battle for your soul. Only the strong have survived. Okay? And the problem is a lot of people's DNA have even gotten changed. Why do you think there was such a pull or a push for this V that changes DNA? It really does. At the same time, this Ascension is being pushed, and they're like, you need to activate your DNA. And somehow people are still going, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. What? Let's look at this. So we must be willing to grieve the world that we expected, the world that we once knew. And it is a rite of passage into the new world. It's not a joke, okay? It's not. And remember in my message I talked about the Fortune's Wheel? Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing, okay? Fortune's Wheel, follow those nudges. It is truly about luck and right timing, okay? Spirit says to do this now, there's a reason. Do it, do it, do it, do it, because you never know. And again, within this Fortune's Wheel, if you're standing in the middle, you can see things clearer. You can take actions as you need to. You can kind of see things before they even come, okay? It's truly about being in the complete balance to where you can see everything in the outside world. How do we do that? Get out of your head. The more you get out of your head and into your body, the better off you are. Because the world is truly based on feelings. Why do you think everything is such a push to block those feelings? Okay, really important message. The farther gate, bold step forward. Okay, Bold step forward, the farther gate. It's not easy, okay? It is definitely not an easy thing to do. Taking a bold step forward. It's the gate a little bit further, right? These are truly challenging. It's not about easy. It's about allowing things to be an upheaval and taking a look at them to get a new perspective. Taking maybe the next road, the one less traveled, the one many people don't always go. Okay. Staying in balance, creating this world of magnificence, becoming the warrior that you are. Okay. Realizing we are creating the world with everything we do, see, feel, and think. So if I'm too scared to step forward into that farther gate, into the path less traveled, then what's going to happen? What am I going to leave behind? And knowing that everything I do affects the next one, and my loved ones, or my ancestors, or my neighbors, or my friends. So maybe I shouldn't sit here and go, woe is me. I can spend a day going, woe is me, and then tomorrow I need to get the hell up. And I need to realize it's not woe is me. I am lucky as shit, and I'm blessed. And this is a challenge bestowed upon me to grow and to see things differently so I can create changes within my world and the world around me. Because in truth, it is time to heal the reasons why I do these things. Why am I afraid? Let's heal that. Let's remove that mask. Let's remove the avoidant behavior. Why do I avoid these conversations? Why do I avoid my truth? Why do I avoid making ripples in my world and creating the changes that I need, that I've been seeking? Why do I avoid? Why do I get into procrastination? Why do I avoid a certain type of person? Why am I afraid to speak my truth? It is time to let go of avoidant behavior. Okay, because if you hold on to it, the upheavals are going to get big. It is truly about taking a look and going, what is this teaching me? What is it that I need to let go of? How do I remain in balance to receive my most highest and best blessings? And maybe it is a road less traveled. Maybe I am told to go into the farther gate. Why? Maybe I'm the one who's meant to create the changes within my reality, within my ancestral line. Maybe I don't fit into the world around me, quote unquote, conspiracy. And maybe I have to understand that the world is not normal either way. So I must be careful. Do I want to conform, or do I want to make sure that I'm okay? Regardless of what's happening, listening to those nudges that are within me and taking it deeper. Why do I avoid this? Why do I avoid this conversation? Why do I avoid looking at my world? Why is this upheaval happening? That is a rite of passage. Why is this person throwing me shade all the time? Why are they manipulating me? Why do I let them manipulate me? Why do I let them cause fear within me? Why am I afraid to speak my truth? Why am I afraid to speak my truth? Whoa. Alright. Those went flying out. Way more than I thought. I only thought there was going to be one. There ended up being 4. Oh yeah. I love it. Yep. Okay, so this is beautiful. So we have stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what you need to know about your situation. So just as I was talking in the Fortune's Wheel, this one truly talks about getting out of your head. It's like going off into la la land, right? It's like meditating. You can meditate with your eyes open. Meditate by looking at the stars, okay? Stargazing. This one's coming out and it's with Fortune's Wheel. This is exactly what I was talking about. If we can get out of our head and get into our body, we gain a clearer perspective. Okay? It's when we think too much, everything becomes mucked, we get huge upheavals, and nothing is in flow. Alright? Stargazing is truly about staring off into nothing. It's like zoning out. When you zone out, you're no longer stuck in a certain space in your head. Okay? And then we can gain new perspective, a new focus. Our intuition is free in that moment. So spend more time stargazing, quote unquote. It's like meditating. Get out of your head, get into your body, tune into nature, right? The burning bush. I talk about that a lot. Okay? Because it's about healing. This is truly about healing. That's what this upheaval talks about. That's what the perspective talks about. Grief. Okay? It's truly about healing. We are meant to be healing these things at this time. That is very validating. Okay? We are meant to be healing. We're meant to be healing to gain a new perspective. This is exactly what I talked about, and I can't validate it anymore. Through healing comes sunshine. Through healing comes joy. Through healing comes love. Okay? And not only that, when we heal ourselves, we gain the ability to heal others. That is true. Okay? When we heal ourselves, we gain the ability to heal others. Okay? It's a collective healing. We must grieve and heal, stay in balance, get out of our head, stay in our body, and know that we're creating our world every day we do this. We're showing the universe that we want joy, we want love, we want new, we want to grow. Okay? And that's also where abundance truly lies at this time, is if we're not willing to go into the higher vibrational energies, it's hard to find that abundance. Okay? At least the ones built on a strong foundation. Okay, and so this one is life energy. It's about shining your light to heal the shadows. This goes with every bit of my message, shining light into the darkness, okay? We bring light into the spaces within ourselves we don't usually realize, the pain we don't want to feel. Shine the light into it, okay? That's how we find out what needs to be healed, okay? Shining light into the darkness gives insight into what needs to be healed. Big time, okay? Shine the light to heal the shadow. When we heal the shadow, we don't eliminate the shadow. We remove anything that's absence of light from it. It is as simple and as complicated as that. Avoidant behavior, you think that's in the light? No. Look at the light as a vibration. The higher the vibration, the higher the light, the less the lower frequencies things exist. Fear, abandoned stuff, right? Avoidant behavior, those kinds of things. Truly shine the light into those difficult moments, to stay in balance, to release the grief, to heal from the grief, to heal the loss of the world we once knew, to move forward, to take the bold gaze. Here's the thing, it's right, successful people don't do things the way other people do them, do they? No. What makes them so different? They don't stop, they don't cower. They're willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do. Sometimes not so good, right? That's not what we want to focus on. We want to focus on the good ones. But even in good, there's challenges. In healing, there's challenges. Okay? And it's very important to step up to those challenges in order to heal them rather than to cower or avoid. So this message is truly about do not avoid the upheavals. Do not avoid the grief. Okay? Get out of our head, get into our body, shine the light into things and allow them to heal. That way we're taking that bold step forward. We're taking the road less traveled. And we're creating ripple effects within our environment that are of a positive light and that are help skywriting the fates of our existence. Either way we go. And then we have flourish. The lotus flower fairy tells you to learn from experience and shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life or those of others. Okay? Just as I said. Shed your inner light on any unclear areas of your life. Okay? Take that step forward. Go into the places you don't normally go within yourself. It is absolutely time to grow. It's essential at this time. shine the light onto any areas of our life in order to flourish and for those of others. Okay? It is initiation time. It's truly about those that are willing to take that step against what others are saying in judgment or against fear, who are willing to look deeper and to heal what they need to heal in order to move higher and above all. It's not about a perspective of just being insane and not caring and moving forward like what they would call a narcissist. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about diving deep into those things that we avoid, the emotions, the conversations, the things within our environment that we avoid, taking those masks further. Why do I do these things? Why is this happening? Why are these relationships repeating? Why am I afraid to speak my truth? Why am I afraid to hurt them when in truth they're hurting me? Is it about hurt? No. Truth sets you free. Truth sets you free. This message is not for the faint of heart. It's for those that are willing to do the work. Those are the ones crossing through ahead of the game first. Okay? The doorway is open. In order to cross through right now is truly about realizing you're skywriting your fates. You are creating your reality. You are making the choices to step through by what you're choosing to heal, to recognize, to gain new perspectives on, to not be afraid of feeling the pain in order to feel the joy and the love. We must heal them. The more we do that individually, the more we do that collectively. The more we go into the great light, the ascension. It's happening whether we want it to or not. So the energies of the planet that are causing these great volcano eruptions and earthquakes, these energies are the same things affecting our internal world. And it's our job to heal like the earth is doing. Each time something cracks and changes and shifts, she heals it. She heals from the grief of the loss and gains new perspective with new avenues, new light, new flowers, new love, new life. And that's what we are being challenged with at this time. So much love to all of you. I'm so glad you joined me today for those that do. And I really look forward until the next time. I hope you have an amazing, beautiful day. So much love.